Someone I used to know, shit, someone I used to love. And that feeling is heavy and layered. You frightened and allured me at once, but I cannot evade your mystic. Fear manifests itself in my history. My moves have lost fluidity and are settled for rigidity, knowing I had ruined if I paced those same steps. Yet, there's something there. I pray for the wisdom to detect the subtleties of comfort and proclivity. Let my old soul guide my young body. Let my young body carry my old soul. So let's go to the next one. To someone I used to know. Yeah. This time, I just want to see what happens. I want to see what happens if we let it. I want to see what happens if we don't hold back. If I say, I do everything that crosses my mind 100 times during the course of the day, even though I'm busy with life. I want to see if you will be inspired to do the same, or if you still need to keep that door locked up tightly. To someone I used to know, I want to see what happens if I pretend that fear does not exist. To treat fear as an ex that I have outgrown, who I don't have use anymore. Will you do the same? Or will you still want to hold tightly to all the dark thoughts which leads to nowhere? I want to see what happens if I step out of my insecurities, leave them along with my past on the cold morning floor. Will you leave yours along with me? Or do you still need them to keep you warm? I want to see what happens if I let the night turn into morning. If we spend the time creating ribbons of memories that will only tie my soul more tightly to yours. I want to see what happens if I fall into you, if I never let a barrier of space between our passion existing again. I want to see what happens if I take you into this crazy world of mine, a world that is filled with laughter, with quiet moments, and probably one too many childish inside jokes. Will your eyes always sparkle and crease with the corners in enjoyment? Or will you grow tired laughing next to me? I want to see what happens this time if we gave it up. If we gave up everything that has been done and said, instead started from this moment, the here and the now. Not because we want to erase everything that has come before, because it did serve a valuable purposes. To someone I used to know, we all just need a fresh start, a new beginning. I want to see what happens if you really began reading this story that you first started so long ago. Will you eventually become bored with the storyline? Or will you read it again and again, highlighting your favorite parts and dog-earing the pages that you couldn't get enough of? Because while I have danced along the edges of honesty and self exposure, there's so much that I have wanted to reveal to you. And maybe, like a rose, while you have pricked your finger on my thorns, seeing the bud reap with possibility, it's only just the beginning to bloom. I want to say what will happen if you touch me in all the ways you really want to. If there's nothing expect, just time standing in the way. And even then, will there be enough to do it all? Because I have been sitting up into the early morning hours, wondering by the lights of the yearning moon. And this time, I'm curious of instead of saying we don't know what it is, if we both say exactly what it seems to be, what will happen? Will the world end in chaos around us? Will we run further than we ever before? To someone I used to know, will we decide to hold on tight on the tide of the ride of our life? Because I know that I can be intense. Maybe that's an understatement. Yet something tells me that even if it's challenging at times, something about your soul just craves the passionate and intensity that I spin while doing nothing more than being myself. What, what we have always had, that them but. This time, I kind of want to see what will happen if we put all that rest, actually stop the sentence at I have never felt like this with anyone, period. No buts, no futile explanation that only lead back to the same place. I want to see what happens over steaming morning coffee and the late night breads in the fridge for a glass of wine. I want to see if the rest of the puzzle will fit just as well I do when we are together. Because while I never expected it, something tells me it is just might. I wonder this time what will grow between us if we give it enough sunlight and water to always stay free and nourished. What will happen if I stop pretending that you don't know as much as you do? And maybe this time, I finally realizing that you aren't the only one who wasn't ready. To someone I used to know. But, remove the but. That was then, and this is now. Because time, I just want to see what happens if we both decide to read it. Thank you.